Okay. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your presence today for this webinar. And we had an overwhelming response, so we are really thankful. Uh, this webinar, the Smart Test Data, it's talking about the digitization and the democratization of your data, your engineering data with the Bricks Data Science platform. So this is a new product line. Some of us know only through the Orbit product line. So this Bricks product line is something new. New in the sense, in the India, we have been promoting for last few years only. Before that, this was more focused towards the international market. Then my name is Neerav Singh. I am associated to ISS for last 8 years, and I work for the business development department. In this session, we contemplate that the physical validation and the verification area, how it can be made smarter, what role test data actually plays in doing that, and how testing data that's generated, which is an important asset to any organization, can be made smarter. So I think before starting, for those of us, who don't know that we had a seminar in the month of end of April, and this webinar is also in the series continuation to that webinar. We talked about the smart validation, where the complete outlook was how Industry 4.0 for actually R&D can be achieved. So we listen a lot of time Industry 4.0, but that mostly focused on the manufacturing end. So this was more focused towards the R&D. In this, actually, I'll just highlight the point. We catered to 4 areas. We discussed about the smart test cell, how the test cell can talk about the data quality, how the data quality of your test can be improved. Then you have your safety and signals checks, understanding the deterioration in your test cells. This was one area. Then we talked about how Smart Test Lab works, how you can basically facilitate your lab to enhance the efficiency of the utilization by automating a lot of process, by bringing accountability, visibility to the complete test lab. Then we had another area about how the DV management and the report management can be managed automatically in a system. So this definitely can be linked to your, a lot of people say we have something in the PLM. So this can hook onto your PLM systems. Today's focus area actually is the smart test, the one highlighted. So we're talking about smart test data, especially for the cases like your test cells, your vehicle on the test tracks, and in case you're running, you have some data loggers running on the vehicle, those scenarios. So moving ahead, let's start with the session. I think the focus of this session is very simple. We are talking about the engineer's problem. What are the daily data related challenges that the engineer faces? It mainly comprises of 2 parts, compile and reuse of the data. So the compilation part itself is challenged because there's unavailability of data. In means there's sometimes, even if the test is done, it hasn't been uploaded, the data hasn't been uploaded, so you have this unavailability of data. Even if the data is there are chances that it is stuck to the native systems where it was tested, or to the laptop of the engineer who was working on it. Then there are cases that there are different file formats. So most of the scenarios that we know, there are cases that a system is provided by XYZ supplier, then another is by some different supplier, and everybody is given different file formats. Like somebody is giving Excel, somebody is giving ATFX, somebody is giving CSV, and this all compilation, because before I actually say anything more further, there is a difference between file and data. There is a huge difference between the data and a file. The engineer works on data. File is something your formats, the ATFX, MDF, CSV. But when actually the engineer has to work, he has to work on the inside these files, when it is mentioned as the measurement channels, the context of this, that is what the engineer works upon. So that is, I think we will be focusing upon that. We will be managing the data and not the files, because a lot of time people say I have a data management system, but it's actually a file management system. You just your location of the file, you're just changing, putting it centrally. That is just a file management system. Now, there are also cases when they're compiling, there is a data tampering possibility. So a lot of time, the operator or there are contract workers, there are issues related to data tampering. We have seen with some customers, especially in the production environment, that people don't want the operator to make any changes of the test. It has to be instantly uploaded into the system. Then there is a difference in the nomenclatures coming from different test cells, different versions of the same supplier. So this kind of common problems are there for the engineers. Looking at the other side, the reuse side, once the data is compiled, if I have to search some data, because you're working on a project that lasts for 1-2 years, because it's a constant evolution of the product that you're doing, constant innovation and constant boosting up of the product profile is happening. So the reuse of this data is mostly happening by searching as a file. There's no data search, and we are missing context to the data. Even if you find the file or it is available to some person and we're sending it through the emails or some share folder, the context to data, why it was generated and what like the conditions, the parameters around it, those all things are missing. And the readiness for this data to be used in the analysis. So like right now, this new generation of engineers are coming in. A lot of people right now talk about that we want to use Python scripting and all. But all these data, you find it in the different file formats. The compilation and all those makes it challenging to use it for the analysis tool, any analysis tool. So our observations, this is from ISS point of view. At engineer level, engineer is wasting a lot of time in doing non-engineering tasks. Instead of performing core tasks, engineer is wasting in compiling data, assimilating data, finding out different formats, different supplier, talking to them, matching the nomenclature. So this is at engineer level, a lot of time is wasted. At function and domain level, reusing this existing data knowledge becomes a challenge. Your data democratization that we talk about, it becomes difficult because the team is not able to actually get that knowledge to share. And right now, many organizations are talking about different strategies, especially one of the major focus is how we can front load the validation, mostly towards the simulation. But all this actually has to bring your physical testing data into the system in a proper digital infrastructure system. At an organization, if you talk about all this, definitely impacts your product time to market and the development cost goes high. So there is definitely an impact that is happening everywhere because of this data. If it is not stored effectively, it's not used effectively. But the main focus, I think, would remain the engineer, because the engineer being the prime task force and the people who are driving the innovation, those are wasting a lot of time. So the solution that we talk about would be a Bricks data science platform. We call it Bricks Lite. This data science platform, the important part is how the data is brought into the system, because usually that is where the things start, that I want to bring things into the system. But how do I do that? Because I have so much heterogeneous environment happening below. You have multiple test locations. It is not just one plant. Big companies working at different locations. How do they bring the different data? Then there are different domains. Even if I try one single platform, it may suit for powertrain, it may not suit for NVH, it may not suit for crash. So a system that is robust enough to capture any domain data, as well as flexible to configure to any domain requirement. Similarly, any testing source. So there is like your on-road data happening, different validation lifecycle. So your field test data, your test bed data, and then moving to the simulation data. All these testing stores, how they can be covered. So today's discussion, we'll be considering like there's a fleet data, there's if the vehicle is as an IoT, there's a data logger case. There's also a case like your normal engine test cell or a vehicle chassis dyno test cell in those cases. So how it can manage this data. And another would be the different data formats, your Excel, MDF, CSV, ATFX. In fact, you can attach your video files, audio files to the system. Now, this data system, once the things are inside this data science platform, how you'd save this data with context, how this data is instantly available, how it manages the relations, and how the data processing is done on the system. That is what we would be talking about today. This is what the solution, the Bricks Lite, would actually give it to you. And on the top, once this data platform is there, because I'm saying continuously the word platform because this is an integration layer in between the engineers and your next stepping stone of different digital strategies. So it has to hook on to different systems. It has to be adaptable to different environments. So your any analysis tools, your any legacy systems, like a lot of people use MATLAB, Python, Concerto, Dynamo, your BI tools, Power BI, ClickSense, Tableau, these all how they can be brought into the systems would be the solution that would be offering today. So just a couple of slides more, and then I would actually ask my colleague Akshay to demonstrate the product. So just bear with me for a few more minutes, and we start with the product demonstration after that. So why we say the Bricks Lite would be a favorable solution? Because it's flexible and scalable. I think we have some IT team members also, IT colleagues of automotive industry in this webinar. So this one makes good sense for them that they're always looking for a system that is a bargain between a buy or a build system, whether they should build it in-house or whether they should buy it from outside. So always the build inside means it's a flexible system. I can adapt to my needs entirely. And with the buy system, they get the, what you say, flexibility, some new use cases, that kind of scenario they can have. So this is something gives you the best of both. With a flexible and scalable system, you have a data model that any domain data can adapt. So this application is based on standards. So there's this Association for Standardization of Automation and Measuring Systems, we know as ASAM. This international organization is a non-profit organization, and it works with about 500 plus different OEMs as well as tool vendors, tier 1 suppliers of how the standards can be developed. So the standards like MDF, ATFX, these are standards coming from this organization. Now, we have been integral part of this organization. Many, like very few companies in India are part of this organization, and we have been one. In fact, Mr. Puran Parekh, who is the CEO and MD of this organization, ISS, he has served as a board of director for 4 years in Assam. And we understand, this is not something, a fluke product that we talk about. This is not something that a one-time built product. It's a continuous evolution of the product based on the international standards, based on the international use cases that are coming into us. So all your future editions, because your test cell lab is dynamic, continuously things keep changing, new editions keep coming. So those all things will be becoming easily adaptable to this system. Now, one thing I focus on is a web-based system because your data becomes available to you instantaneously. Now, for the IT, what it means is there's no installations on everybody's PC. There's no permission-related headaches. And being a server-based application, you have a defined update and maintenance model that is coming in. And it can be easily accessed role-wise or the permission-wise. So a good system for data democratization. Important point, usually people ask me, like, what is the implementation time? As early as 2 months, because what is needed is just the configuration. So if I had to say, it's an 80% product and 20% is the adaptation that we do. So that's why that is the reason why it can be easily adapted across the domains, across the organizations, and across the different functions and data style. I think this is just to put it again together, why ISS should be the preferred partner. So as a business philosophy, we have a simple philosophy that we want to be an independent integrator. Since the start, a lot of people who know ISS, we have not been equipment sellers, and we don't plan to be the equipment sellers. We have a product line, Orbit, that is known to provide engine test cells, engine test systems, then vehicle chassis dyno systems, EV related product line. But this is not the one thing we aggressively promote. What we promote is that there is a holistic approach required to the problem, customer's problem, and it's not just about the local optimization that we are talking about. So this complete product line will also talk about how we can optimize your complete process rather than just optimization of a particular problem. And definitely, we have 21 years of experience. So we are serving since 1999, 21 years experience, the domain knowledge of engineering and IT, and that is something a rare, a niche thing that we see, a combination of engineering and IT together. And all this development that we talk about is happening indigenously. So right now, the hashtag like vocal for local going on. So it's all indigenous development. The majority of the team is based in Pune in India. And though important thing, with the technologies, with the use cases, we are working across the globe with all the mature automobile markets, and you can realize we are contributing significantly in the area of autonomous driving in Germany, in US, and this is a different. So it's not just that it's all related to the Indian environment, but it's like the best of the world that we can bring in and indigenously support you. So I think Akshay Samdekar, my colleague, who is a product expert in this bricks, he can take it ahead from me.
Yes, sure, Neera. Okay. Good afternoon, all. Hope you all are very, very good in this pandemic situation. So I will start with the product demonstration. As Neera explained, I will share my screen first. Okay, can you see the screen?
Yes, Akshay.
Yes. Okay. So yes, the basic problem is the managing of data rather than managing of the files. How we can manage a data. So because when we say data management, it comes how we can store our data, how we can maintain our data, how we can use our mark data for the future analysis, how easily we can do a simple analysis with the data, how easily we can export the data to maybe to the PowerPoint, maybe as an image, maybe as a CSV file, how we can export wherever we want, and we can present it anywhere we want it. And most important is this application, what we are saying, the Bricks Lite is a product and the web-based product. So web-based product is the most important benefit is you can access it anywhere. This is a web-based product, so you just need to install in your maybe internal environment, in the company internal environment, and anywhere. Suppose I'm maintaining the data from the India and you want to see the data into the Germany, you can very well see that data. So whatever is going on. So mostly like a situation currently in a lockdown. So this kind of applications are very, very useful. So just you are importing a working somewhere and anyone can access the application just by the security of the maybe private network, and you can access the data anywhere. So this kind of product. So I will go through a product and maybe I will try to explain the difficulties currently faced by the engineer, automobile engineers, and how we are trying to make it easy. So basically, whether the first point comes in a picture, whenever we call a web application, so most of the customer ask us, what about the security? So many of the people concerned about the security of the data, security of the link. So this is a web-based application, and it's completely based on the ODS data model. So we are using a ODS standard. We are following a standard data model, and yes, whatever the security is applicable to the ODS, the complete security is applicable to the application also. So these securities are configurable because we came across many times customer want different layer of security. Some customer wants a security at the project level. Some customer wants security at the test level. Maybe at the function level. Suppose this person is not having access right to use this function. So function level securities, data level securities. So that can be adaptable in the application as per the customer requirements. And as it is following the ODS standard, so all the security features of the ODS is applicable with the application. So yes, this is a main page of the application, as you can see. Generally, application is categorized in a three views. Basically, first view is a project view. At the right hand side, you can see. So generally, this is a hierarchy we are trying to follow. This first node we call it as a project. In a project, we can have a test plan, and inside it, you can have all the actually test data. Maybe actual test data files you can import. So as we say, this application is adaptable to any domain. Maybe any domain can use it. Any person from the any domain, any background can use it. How we can say that you can see a right side nodes. These are the metadata of the project S1 and test. So completely configurable. This part is completely configurable as per your requirement. You can configure it. You can configure your own attributes. You can configure your own metadata for each node. It is available for each node. For the project, you can configure. For the test plan, you can configure. For the test, you can configure. So maybe question comes in mind: why? Why I need to configure a metadata for at each node? So basically, the simple answer is for searching. Whenever you want to search a data, you will search it by the metadata. Let's suppose you are using a Windows Explorer and you are storing your file in the Windows Explorer, and there are many files. And when you want to search your file by the inside content of the file, maybe the metadata inside the file, so it is not possible to search easily. So Bricklight provides you the facility that you can configure your metadata, you can fill it out at the time of the import of the file, and you can search it anywhere and anytime you want. And suppose you want a test data file from the years ago, that is also possible that you can just search it by a metadata. And that metadata is also of your choice. So this is a general view. A project view is a hierarchical view that what are the current projects going on, what are the current test plans, what are the tests inside it. This inside there, here you can see the actual measurement and data. These are the measurement and the data. We call it as a measurement, and these are the channels. Here you can see mostly in the right hand side, you can see metadata view. You can add attachment at each node at the project level, test plan level, test level, or measurement, or channel level. Anywhere you can add attachment. Maybe most of the time what happens, generally we store analysis data. We don't want to dump each and every data into the application. So generally the standard data which we want to maintain, we generally store into the application. But yes, in the background, we are having a many files. We are having images, we are having reports. Maybe we are having the hex files, raw data files. So you can attach it to the application, maybe to the test. So anywhere you want that background reference from where this analysis is done. This data is of which analysis files. So you can easily check it by searching just in the node. So you will get an attachment file. You can download it and again you can refer it. So basic background is you can very well maintain your data set. Whatever the data you are storing, what are the analysis you are doing, what are the files you are having, what are the attributes you are having, completely you can have a view here. In a very small view you can have. Then you can see another view, the data set view. So basically sometimes the project view can be viewed by everyone, because suppose one test lab is working with the Bricklight, so anyone can import a data from different test beds. And data set is a user base. Suppose I logged in, so this is very specific to me. So I can create my own workspace into the application for my analysis, for my view, for my test on which I am working on. So I can create a separate data set and I can work on this data set only. So this is just a filtering, because I don't want to, every time I don't want to go to the project view to search my test. No, not required. You just create your workspace, and in your workspace, you are having your separate test and analysis. Maybe current test you can store in the data set. It's your personal view. No one else can see it other than you. So you can maintain your workspace here. This is a third here. This is a third view, is a actually data viewer, you can see. So whatever the data coming into the application, you can very well see it here. Just for example, I can show you. I will explain it later in detail how it goes, just for your reference. Like this kind of, you can just view the data, maybe in a different formats you can see. You can have a line chart, you can have a data view, actually tabular view if you want of the data you can see for the same data, plot data. Same this kind of. If you want, you can see what is actually the data of the file. You can see the line chart of the file. So, and many other chart options available, data compare view available kind of. So you can create 10 more canvases for you, maybe for different channel plotting and different analysis. You can create it like this. So easy for comparison, just 10 canvases you can create, and you can plot your data and you can see data. Likewise, you can have this kind of comparison kind of. So this was just a basic introduction of what application contains. So at a top level, you are having a multiple options available in application, like a export, then a generate report, then import, search, template creation, or template creation of the analysis basically. So these are the features. Then share link we have. Yes.
Akshay, I would just like to add before we move to another part.
Yes.
This view is basically for our guest here is this is something that the canvas is something what you can do in Excel that is can be achieved on this web platform. So
Yes.
all your plotting, all your data comparison, what you actually do in a cumbersome way in Excel, that can be easily done here. Secondly, it can be exported to Excel or PPTs and all. So that part is there.
Yes.
As well as I think one thing important would be this is all instantaneously available to you. So how this comes in the how this data is to be imported into the system, I think Akshay is moving ahead with that part.
Yes.
So please don't confuse Canvas as something fancy, but it's like different graphs and charts and all that we develop in the Excel that can be done on the web system.
Correct.
And much more.
So yes, that was the background of the application, how we are going it. Yes, we are also having some administrative modules where you can have a security, you can have a LDAP connectivity where system admin can take care of. System configuration, like which attributes you want, in which format, kind of different security. So maybe in a detail in person we can discuss it. We want to detail discussion of it. So yes, I will move to the import. So basically, when we want to manage the data, first part comes how to import the data. So whenever import is possible, easily possible, then you can manage the data. So there are multiple types of import available for the Brickslide. So many customers comes that okay, we don't want to import files manually. We want a solution like directly from a test bed. After my test connection, the file should go to the importer, and Brickslide to take care of the import of the file. Then I will insert a metadata or something, whatever I want, I will do it laterwards. So this is one part. Another requirement comes from the customer. We want as a IoT. Suppose some IoT from the IoT based system, the file will get generated, and Brickslide should take care of import directly into the application. Directly in the sense, application DTM, data transfer manager we call it. So it will directly transfer your file after the test condition to the Brickslide, and Brickslide will import the file, and then you can maintain that file. So these are the different configurable importer systems currently we have. So now I am demonstrating the manual import. Manual import means you are having a file and you want to import the file into the system. So two types of manual import you can see. It's a file import first, another is a manual import. Manual import means it's like a small data. Suppose you are having a small data into the Excel and you want to just copy paste and import it, so it is possible. And file import is actually you are having a different types of files and you want to import it kind of. So this is a file import wizard. So there are different file formats are supported. Like a CSV we can support, Excel we can support, ATFX we can support, MDF we can support, any file format you say that it can be supported. Just it is a configurable. Suppose you are having some CSV format, so we need to configure a driver for it. The driver for particular mapping of your CSV file. You are having an Excel file, we need to have a proper driver file to manage. It's a configurable importer. And yes, sometimes customer comes with a very unique file format that file formats are maybe not required globally. Not every customer need it. So at that time we need to write a customer importer for that customer, and we will provide a driver for it. So any file import is possible. So most of the time, questions come to me that my file format is very rare and I want to import it. So yes, we can import it. Just you need to provide a format and we need to write a driver for it. So it is possible. So currently for a demonstration, for easy demonstration purpose, CSV, Excel, vendor ATFX files, I will show you. So let's take an example of a simple CSV file. So CSV file mapping is already stored in application. This is a sample CSV file I'm showing to you. So you can have your own CSV files and you can configure a driver. So,
1987 or 88. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, 36.
Hello. Okay, the standard sample CSV file I'm showing to you. So I have just uploaded the file from my own machine. I uploaded a CSV file and I'm saying to validate the file. So it will check the configuration, the metadata from the file. So this is something we have a metadata information table. So this is a configurable metadata information table. As many attributes you want, maybe 7 per node maximum we suggest to the customer. Not put it more than that because sometimes you need to enter it. So most of the time, again, question comes at any time I will import a file, whether I need to, every time I need to insert this metadata. So answer is no, not every time. Just first time you need to import, you need to insert your project information, your test plan information. After that, you can directly go to the particular test plan and directly you can import the file into the that particular test plan. No need to insert again and again. So this is, so maybe in some organization, customer wants that we want to have our own catalog files. Catalog means we will already input the data into the application and no user is allowed to insert his own data. He will select it from the previously stored data. Some customer want to give the freedom that yes, any of user is having a freedom to insert its own metadata. Some customer may want that we will insert the metadata into file, application should detect it and application should import it. It is also possible. So currently for a simple demonstration, I have kept it simple. So for example, I will show that I am already having one project. It's a demonstration project data, you can say. So it is, I selected that project, so metadata for that project is already coming, automatically coming. So emission test plan, the one of the test plan I took from already imported test plan. So metadata for it, not much metadata is present, that's why, otherwise each attribute comes. No, not required to insert it every time. So yes, this test information I need to insert because what is this test I am trying to, maybe I will send the emission test. It is also possible that imported data into same test. But I will take another one, just for example, hash maybe E3. And suppose I want to insert any metadata for it, I can insert. You can make it attributes configurable, right? You want to make it compulsory for user to insert, yes, everything is possible. Just because of time constraint, I'm not inserting everything. But yes, you can make it compulsory for user. So application will not go ahead if it is not inserted. So import. So this shows you the just a basic information that what you have inserted and you can say okay. So just a simple, just a 2-3 steps import. So your file will get imported in the system. Yes, you can see the right side message, file is imported. So we have selected this project, demonstration project, emission test plan, and you can see this emission test #3 test is imported here. So this was a CSV file, same as a CSV file. I can import Excel file. I need to select an Excel file. Same as the Excel file, I can select a ATFX file. Just for your example, I can show you demonstration for the Excel file. Sorry, ATFX file. Just kind of. So this is a zip file of ATFX. So ATFX file contains some binary files, component, external component files, and then ATFX itself ATFX file. So it is a zip file of ATFX containing the different binary files, data files, and actual ATFX file. So you just need to dump your ATFX zip file here, and you can say a validate. So maybe sometimes it happens your ATFX file contains the metadata. So application will detect the metadata from the ATFX file. Some network problem.
Akshay, one thing I think we also need to state here is that this is what we are talking about, like the manual upload. There is also a scenario where we can do an automatic upload. So the operator basically does, there's an operator does not actually has to manually enter all this detail. The file would automatically go into the system. So like for one of our customer, we did a use case where they didn't wanted the operator to actually tamper the data. And in that case, once the file is the test file is generated, it automatically imports into the system. The operator only has the option of putting a few comments, some physical observations like some leakage or has happened, those information he can put. Otherwise, the data is streamed up. So this is one variation. There is also one variation like sometimes there can be manual systems like there are component labs where the automation system is not available. Manually, the data is being noted. In that case, the system also gives you an option of like Excel kind of import. Within this, you can actually put the data and it would be imported in system. I think Akshay would be showing that. Yeah, Akshay?
Yes. Yes, yeah. I will. So this is the ATFX import I was showing. So again, I can take a parameter from the file if I configure, or I need to insert it. I can select it from previously created node also. So data will get imported and you will get a message into background process. So basically, suppose you are already having this kind of PID simulation project, then you are having a test plan and particular test you are having, and you want to import in that particular test. So you can select this test and you can say import here. You can just say import here. So the data will get imported directly into that particular file. You need not to have every time create a complete metadata. So insertion of the metadata, every time insertion of the metadata is a hectic job for the engineer that we can understand. See, here already data is already coming. So complete metadata is already application is capturing. So you can just in a minute you can input a file. So this is a one part. So you can manually upload a file. Another part is directly fetching a file from the testbed, automatically fetching the file from the testbed and putting it into the application. Third part is from the IoT based applications fetching the files. It is also possible. Another one is a manual import. Many times you have again I will take a direct example that I will select this test and I will say import. So no need to insert metadata again and again. Yes, I am copy pasting the data. I am having a one Excel file and I am copy pasting some data from that Excel to the application directly. I just want to copy and paste the data. Like I will select here. So this is the first row is the channel, another is the unit, and from third row your data starts. So I just copy pasted the data. I can give a measurement, maybe any measurement name, manual data, maybe FTP kind of, and I can say validate. So again, the complete metadata you can observe already coming from the selected parent nodes, and I can say import. So very easily you can just dump a data into the application. So this is a part of the import. I can say import. So how the data is coming into the application. So here you can see the manual data FTP we have inserted. Kind of CSV data we have imported directly here. So you can see. So this is a just an explanation about how you can import the data and how you can insert the metadata information for it. So again, sometimes what a user wants, okay, I have already imported the data. I want to attach some files. I want to attach some report. Once this test is already complete, I want to attach some report. I want to attach some files. Like you just need to click here and just a minute, I'm sorry. You can attach an image, or you can attach PDF reports. anything you want, you can just attach video file you want to attach. Just to maintain a complete background of your data, just to maintain uh, complete information, what you are uploading, importing. After uploading, you can create your own data set and you can work it. Again, after importing the data, maintaining the data, how to search the data. Another part is how to search. So like it's an advanced search option you can. In advanced search, you can see complete attributes, complete metadata attributes are available on the basis of which you can search your test. So maybe I will say that yes, demonstration project we are working on currently, I will say I want to search the test from this. So it will give you the result that okay, project, what are the test plan inside it, and what are the tests inside it. So you can see all tests from this project. Another option is you are having options on the test. You can edit the test. Suppose you want to edit any information from the test, more options like you want to import some measurements into that file. So option is available. Suppose you want to import some manual data in that particular test, option is available. Another option is add to dataset. Add to dataset is like I want to create my own dataset and I want to add this test to my dataset. This option directly available. Already created dataset and add the test. Or I can go here, like I can go here and then I can create a data set. Suppose data set. So I can create my data set. Anytime I can create my data set. Suppose I want this particular test to be inserted in my data set. So what I need to do, just drag and drop this test to the data set. So the test will get added to your data set and you can work on this particular test.
The idea of data set, I think Akshay, we should tell. The idea of data set is this whole system is for the data democratization. Your all engineers can actually use it. But there are once the system keeps loading the data, there will be huge amount of data with you. So the data set card will actually help the engineer to focus on what he is really working upon. He can add it into his cart of work. So that is the data set card. So the purpose is this is something the personalization he gets within the system. So Akshay will move to I think the Canvas part.
Yes, Canvas.
Yeah. So then we can take some questions and we can show within the system how those can be achieved. Canvas and I think the analysis how we can make the system.
Yes.
Yeah. In
so
5 minutes.
yes, generally a Canvas. Yes, in 5 minutes I will. In a Canvas part, you can see I can, as I have already seen that you can drag and drop your channel to the Canvas. So Canvas is basically the basic analysis you can do in the Canvas, and you can export this particular data. Whatever the analysis data you are working on, you can export it. So many times customers say that like Excel, how I can select the x-axis. Like suppose this is a speed talk, so I have created, I have mentioned a speed as x-axis, and you can very well select your speed as a x-axis. So data will plot against the speed. Again, you can have an area chart for it. You can have a bar chart for it. Any chart you want. You can have cattle chart. Suppose you want. You can have data view. You can have. So what to do with the data? Suppose after your analysis you want to export this data. Here is an option. Generate CSV. The application will generate the CSV for these particular 2 channels and export it. You want to save it as an image. It will get stored. Suppose you want to export it to the PowerPoint. So it will automatically create a PowerPoint for you and it will just paste that image into the PowerPoint and you can present it anywhere you want. So this is possible. Now this data I am working on, I want to share this particular data link to my colleague. So I will say, okay, share link. The link will come to you. Just copy this link and paste into your mail address and send it to your colleague. So your colleague will automatically will get navigated to this particular data and he can see this particular data. So this option available, basic options like edit canvas title. Suppose you want to have some your own canvas title, I will say speed 1 kind of. So you can have this kind of edit axis title kind of. And I can have, as I said, I can have many canvases. So many canvases. So export option available here. So many canvas zip file and export it into the PPT, CSV, etc. So kind of export options available. Again, Yes, Nirav, you want to say
I was saying that the pinch and zoom feature is also available. So in
Ah,
anybody
yes,
wants to analyze
yes,
that, that is there. Akshay, apart from this, I think the comparison, it's not necessarily happening between the same project, same test pen, or the same test. This
yes.
can be extended to any of your projects. It can go with one comparison of this particular project to another particular project. There can be a master project where you are comparing your this FTP curve with another master FTP curve. So there are different scenarios how the customer has played with it. So it's all up to the business logic of yours.
Like these are basically we have taken a PID simulation project, so it is a comparison of the simulation and actual test you can do
Right,
generally
right.
here. So we are having a simulation test and we are having the actual test, so you can have a different record or something. Like I plot speed from simulation and I want to speed from actual, I can
Right, right. So
actually plot
maybe
it.
Akshay,
And
moving ahead, we can show that this is just like I said, it's more to do with like the Excel kind of thing and the regular work that the engineer does. But there are some engineers, especially the analysis engineers, who wants to work on some tools also. So how this data science platform works effectively for them. That part we can show.
yes, yes. Just 2 points I want to cover.
Yeah.
Just I will take a little time. This is Zoom feature. And another part is the many times customer asks that whether suppose I am creating this particular kind of analysis one time and whether I want to create it every time. Every time I want to create it. So no, on the basis of your data set, in this particular data set, suppose from this particular data set you are doing something. So this test is already having, uh, so suppose I am plotting something from this particular test. Let's take an example against the speed only. And I will just create a template of it. So anything, suppose you can do any analysis you want, and you can create a emission template. So whenever you will come next time, just suppose I delete it. Whenever you come next time, and I am creating this particular data set, and I will select a template, my template, maybe my emission template. So it will plot it for me. I don't need to plot it again and again. Whatever analysis you do, it will plot it again and again for you. So this is the part, and another one is that I can see the report. So Word, PowerPoint, Excel report we support, and we are already having one template. The report template which contains a graphical part, some tables. So application detects that from the Word file. From the Word file, it detects how many tables are there, how many charts are there. So what you need to do, you just need to drag and drop here whatever information you want for particular table. Drag and drop here. Suppose you want some chart in your application, you can drop in the chart area. This chart area and everything is application is detecting from the Word file. We are already having a Word file stored in the application, and it is detecting how many chart and how many tables are there, and you can say generate report. So application will actually generate a proper report for you. It will actually go to that particular column of the Word file, and it will insert the data in that particular column. So any template, Word template you have, you can do this particular type of report. So this is a kind of report you can generate. So now we say that if the BricsLite is a store one time and use anywhere data kind of format. So we are having a connection with the different uh, external tools, like Nirav said that yes, MATLAB by scripting you can connect, because BricsLite is exposed with the web API. BricsLite is having its own web API, and complete web APIs are exposed for each project, test plan, test measurement level. So you can write your own script for getting a data from the BricsLite or storing the measurement data directly from the REST to the BricsLite. So just for the demonstration purpose, a small example I will show you. I'm having this script. This is a script. This is a Python script. I am running in the Jupyter notebook, and in Python script, I am just using the same link of the BricsLite currently we are using, and I am getting the project information. I am getting the project information for this particular project from the BricsLite, and getting the test plan information from that particular project. So suppose I run this. So it is actually connecting to our web service and getting the data, all details. So you can do your analysis. You can use a different chart feature of the Python by getting actual data and processing on it. So same as the Python, we are having external tool connectivity for the Concerto. We are having the external team connectivity for the Uniplot, Power BI, any. You take a name and we are having available.
Akshay, I have one question.
Yes.
Normally, we are having the number of machines, okay, engine testbed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. So
Okay.
as a comparison point of view, how we can do comparison of testbed number 1 with respect to 2 or 3, 4, like that?
Generally, sir, we are yes.
For example, say torque value of testbed number 1, how it is coming with respect to testbed number 2, or what is in testbed number 3, how we can collect all data of all testbeds, whatever the units, production unit we are having, and comparison between the testbeds of all parameters.
Yes. So this is generally a data storage point of view you are asking. How you will store it and how you will compare it, right? So basically,
comparison is most important.
Yes. In one of the customer place, what we have done in an importer user here, in an import, we have divided the driver for the testbed wise. Let's say testbed 1, testbed 2, testbed 3. So you just select a testbed and you can upload a file, right? And you can very well have an attribute here. Whenever you will import a file, you will insert a metadata. You need to insert your testbed name, or application will automatically detect it from which testbed it is coming from, and so it will show here that this file is from this particular testbed. Maybe in the same test plan like this, FTP 500, FTP 800, suppose. So it is coming from suppose two different testbeds. So you are clicking on FTP 500, you can see your testbed name here as an attribute, FTP 800 as a metadata. You can see, and you can very well do the comparison between these particular two test data.
Actually, you can do advanced search for that attribute, right? For that particular test.
Yes. We are having a
you can show that. You can show that. You just go to the advanced search and search for test.
Akshay, we will open the floor for question and answer sessions only now. I think we've completed the session. There are a lot of questions we can take from people.
Yes. So same as Deepak sir was explaining. So we can actually search from any of the attributes, like a test bed. So you can actually get your test. You can drop this particular test in your data set and you can do the actual comparison from the channel.